My husband, 28, and I, 26, female, have been married for a little under a year. We've been together since college. I grew up in a pescatarian household and have maintained those eating habits for myself as an adult. My husband was brought up eating meat but told me he's always had qualms about it himself and tested out being vegetarian for some time when he was a young adult. Even though he was not a pescatarian when he and I started dating at 20, he's now fully pescatarian and even stronger in his conviction than me. It's been 5 or so years that he's fully pescatarian. His family, both extended and immediate, knows this, and we've spent many family meals and holidays together. It irks me that whenever we're at his parents', they still offer him meat and act surprised when he doesn't have any. He's explained to them, "I don't eat meat anymore," multiple times, but it keeps reoccurring. His parents are very young, so I doubt this is a memory issue. It feels like they're trying to undermine his choice, and they seem to hold this against me despite the fact that I never forced him to do this. His mother often comments, "Oh, so you really don't eat meat anymore?" His parents have no issues accommodating their nieces and nephews who are severely picky eaters, yet they routinely don't prepare anything pescatarian. So, we end up eating what we brought, if we brought a side or dish, and then his parents will say, "Oh, we're sorry, we didn't realize you wouldn't eat any of the food." Maybe I'm in my head a bit about it, but it feels intentional. I'm okay with bringing our own food when we go, but everyone obviously takes from what we bring, and we end up with almost nothing to eat. My husband and I have discussed this. There was once a time we came to stay with them for a week when we were living in different cities. His parents had prepared this elaborate meal with brisket, chicken, etc., for the entire extended family that was going to be there. Then they said they'd lend us the car and we could buy some fish for ourselves, but we could put it on their card. We also were told we had a short time frame to use the car, as his parents wanted to take their nieces and nephews out for ice cream. We made it back from the store, and his mom said, "Yes, well, by all means, I figured you'd prepare it yourself, but here's the recipe." His parents definitely know how to make fish. We used to have some well before my husband decided to be a pescatarian. It's almost now that he doesn't eat meat. They purposely don't make fish or anything else. We were tasked with preparing said fish for ourselves, which I found to be demeaning. But the fish was not just for us. My husband has said that maybe they just haven't fully understood and need to be reminded more and accept it. I think he's in denial a bit. I don't expect them to cook a full pescatarian meal, but I wish they'd stop pushing something on my husband that they should know he doesn't eat anymore. Am I the idiot for asking my in-laws to stop questioning my husband's dietary restrictions? Any insights? Tell them I'm getting concerned that you have memory problems. Have you seen a doctor, because it seems like you keep forgetting the straightforward fact that your son adopted a pescatarian diet 5 years ago? And it's not even that you offer me out of habit. You seem genuinely surprised by this fact every time. I mean, the only other thing I can think of besides serious memory problems is that it's a passive-aggressive way to complain about his dietary restrictions, but that would be so incredibly petty that it seems unlikely. So, do you need help setting up a doctor's appointment? Not the idiot, and I don't believe for 1 minute that this isn't intentional, but since that's a non-kind assumption on my part, I would absolutely give them the benefit of the doubt that it's early-onset dementia or something similar. In this case, the kindest thing to do is ensure a doctor evaluates them. If it's not memory issues, then they're being petty on purpose, and it's fine to point it out to them. And then add, omega-3s in certain fish will help with those memory issues. Oh, honey, they know you're a pescatarian. They just don't care. Not the idiot if you ask them to stop, but I bet they don't. They don't care. Also, you're not the idiot if you and your husband decide to stop going to their house for meals. If they ask why, tell them they already know why. Let him deal with this. It's his parents. I, a teen male, have a twin sister. Let's refer to her as Laura. Laura and I have splitting personalities, but for the most part, we used to get along until high school. Since Laura was an outgoing person, she barely studied, if at all. She was obsessed and stuff. Now, I'm not as outgoing as she is. I mean, I still go out with friends, but only during the holidays, and we do activities like basketball. Yeah, you get the gist. Due to her dismal academic performance compared to mine, my mom always makes me chew her out. My dad knows about this, but he's busy with work all the time and traveling for different meetings, so he isn't really involved in this situation. My mom is a stay-at-home mom, and now I don't mind teaching her, except that every time I try to teach her, she always manages to throw a fit or a tantrum, and I get blamed if she does badly in a test. Her tantrums range from screaming to throwing a fit, literally on purpose. So I gave up. Next, she managed to fracture herself at a friend's house. Apparently, she slipped and missed the landing. I don't remember too much. It happened 3 or 4 weeks ago, and she ended up in a cast. According to the doctor, it should take approximately 2 months for her to recover and remove the cast. They taught her how to use crutches at the hospital, but admittedly, she wasn't the best with it. Our house is 2 stories tall, and there's a staircase to go up to our bedrooms. She wants me to carry her all the time now. This isn't an issue for me. I'm 5 feet 11 inches, and she's 5 feet 7 inches, and I'm much heavier than her. Except I'm not free all the time, nor does she want to make an effort to use her crutches. For the past 1 or 2 weeks, I relented and had to do as she told me, or else she threatened to complain to our mom, who's busy in her own social life and gets angry when we complain to her. Except she takes out all the blame on me. The last story is when she called for me to take her down the stairs to drink water while I was on a call with a friend, finishing a group project due the next day. I had enough, and after the call, I went to her room and told her that I was not her damn kid to give her all the time, and she needed to do stuff herself. Guess what she did? She called for mom, and I got in trouble again. Am I the idiot, dude? I just got foot surgery and can't walk for 6 weeks. Crutching up and down the stairs is not hard. You just have to go slow. She is a lazy, selfish brat, and you have every right to help her at your own pace and on your own time. If she's that demanding, I'd stop helping her too until she showed some respect. Your mom is consistently heavily favoring your sister, and she needs to check her behavior or she'll lose her son in the long run. You guys are teens, you're almost adults. If she's throwing tantrums as a teen, then I'd be embarrassed to be her parent, to be honest. You should be helping her when you can, when she absolutely needs it, but carrying her up and down the stairs just so she can get water is unacceptable. Her tantrums range from screaming to throwing a fit literally on purpose, then recording it and putting it. Also, every time your mom blames you, play her tantrums at full volume. If she doesn't want a parent, she can at least listen to the product of her non-parenting. If she keeps punishing you, play it in front of your mom's social circle. Don't play their games. You deserve better. You're not an accessory to their lives. This may sound new-car, but if you don't stop this now, it will never get better. Oh, sweetie, your mom needs to remember the caregiver part of her job as a stay-at-home mom. Don't cut your father any slack either, because while he's traveling for work, that doesn't give him an excuse to abdicate all parenting responsibilities to your mother, who gave them to you. He needs to step up and talk to his wife, but to do that, you need to talk to him and tell him what's been going on. When I was a young teen, my mother, a bowman, cheated on my dad with one of her female friends from college. She reconnected with her, and my parents divorced. My mom married her partner. I'm an only child, and I live with my mom during the week. We're quite close, but her partner makes a lot of money. So much money that my mom thinks it doesn't make sense for her to work, and she's a stay-at-home mom. My relationship with my mom's partner is tense, but at first, I didn't mind her since my mom doesn't work. Her partner provides for her as long as she provided for my mom and made her happy. I didn't care. My mom provides for me with child support money from my dad. Issues started quickly arising when my mom's partner started intruding on my life. She tried looking through my laptop but couldn't crack my password and demanded I open it. I refused, and there was a massive argument. My mom took my side, which caused tension between my mom and her partner. Next, she started judging me for my eating habits. She commented that I was looking chubbier than usual and should stop eating so much fast food. I literally eat what my mom cooks at home. She also demands that since it's her house, I always keep my room clean and organized. I have no issue with this. She's right. What bugs me is that she will come into my room at about 6 a.m. and yell at me while I'm asleep to start cleaning. All this BS results in a lot of daily arguments between us. I've started going to my dad's after school instead, which causes my mom to freak out and beg me to go home to her. I hate doing that, but I love my mom and do it for her. A few days ago, My mom sat me down with her partner and asked both of us if we could figure out a way to get along. After a couple of hours of discussion, we agreed to try to be more respectful. Despite this, a lot of the same behavior keeps going on. Today, on the birthday of my mom's partner, my mom asked if I was going to celebrate with them. I thought about it and said no. My mom told me I don't have a choice since her partner provides for her. We both owe her basic decency and respect. She told me to get ready and dress nicely since we were going out to eat. I had her forget this moment, so when my mom went to shower, I decided to leave the house and walk to my dad's place. My mom freaked out and called me. I don't pick up, so she calls my dad, and he tells her where I am. There was a huge argument between the two, and at the end of it, my dad congratulated me on standing up to my mom and her partner, despite being such a jerk to them. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. I'm sorry, but your mom doesn't seem like a great person from your story. It sounds like she just wants to live a cozy life with very little regard for the people around her. She's a cheater. She's not backing up her child. She cheated, left your dad, has you full-time, gets child support while she doesn't work, and treats you mostly as an afterthought. Why are people being rewarded for this behavior? The question you need to ask your mom is, Mom, what are you doing to stop your partner from abusing me? A follow-up question may need to be, Mom, Dad, would it be okay if I lived with Dad full-time and only saw Mom outside the home to protect me from the abuse? Or, Dad, I need adults' help to protect me. Here, waking you up and yelling at you at 6 a.m. is abusive. Laying into a teen about their weight, especially when this is clearly not coming from a place of love, is dangerous. Making you part of your mom's keep her partner happy so they'll fund our life deal is uncomfortable. You're a child. It's your parents' responsibility to provide for you. How your mom chooses to do that is up to her, but if she and her partner wanted to stay at home, that's down to them. You're not party to that deal. Your mom is responsible for you. Good luck up. My husband, 24, and I, 25, female, moved in with my husband's widowed mom at the beginning of the year to save for a house while I was pregnant with our first child. My husband works full-time, and I'm a stay-at-home mom to our now newborn baby. We pay his mom a small monthly fee and live in 2 out of the 3 bedrooms upstairs. One is used as an office/living room, the second is our bedroom and nursery, and the third is my husband's brother's room, which is occupied by a recent college grad. We knew this wouldn't be easy, but after 7 months of living here, we've hit our roughest patch yet. We intended to move out of his mom's house and into our new home sometime next year, but expenses and the economy have stalled our savings. Our plans have needed to change, but living in this current housing situation has become increasingly uncomfortable and taxing on our marriage. We have very little control in the home, always having to accommodate the other 2 residents who live differently than we do. Respect for our personal space and time is inconsistent. Sometimes, the food I need to grab for the baby isn't in the fridge, or my mother-in-law talks over me when I'm with my husband downstairs. All of this compounds when you add in being postpartum, learning how to parent for the first time, and the pressure of taking care of a newborn that cries around the clock. My husband and I fight almost daily, and I can't get through a week without a meltdown that affects our routines. I'm struggling to see how we'll make it through the coming holidays without more conflict. My husband is determined to stay here until either we save enough for a down payment or he gets a job with a higher salary. However, both are unlikely to happen within the next several months. My parents have gifted us $10,000 to help us move out sooner, and before things get any harder. After receiving this, I told my husband in a conversation that we needed to move out and into an apartment as soon as possible, but he completely freaked out. I made things worse by pushing him and creating a massive argument out of my pain points with living here. Now, I'm the bad guy for telling him that we need to move out sooner than we originally planned and not into our house. He wants to live with his mother more than he wants to live with you. He'll keep moving the goalposts. This sounds mean, but move out. He doesn't have to come with you if he's going to be stubborn. But if you need to move for your health and mental wellness, do it. It doesn't mean you don't love him. It means you're putting your family first. You can pay rent for quite a while with the money from your parents. You're not the idiot, he's being unreasonable. The average rent cost is $2,000 with moving costs and the deposit and the first month's rent. $10,000 only sets you up for about 3 months, and it's not that long. They need to work this out together. If she wants to leave, moving in with her parents is likely her most viable option for real. This crowd is not living in reality. Where in the world is a person who doesn't have a job or proof of sustained income manage to rent an apartment? Ugh. I get it. You all want her to stand up for herself, but she and her husband created this mess. They decided to have a baby and try to buy a house at the same time. It's hard enough for a couple with a dual income to achieve both simultaneously, and this couple only has one income's parents gave her $10,000. I wouldn't waste that on rent, or the people telling her to take off with the baby and drop the $10,000 on rent are clearly not good with money. Your previous plan was 1 or 2 years there, and that was supposed to be enough savings to leave. Now you have an additional gift of $10,000, and if that gift isn't enough to help you out, what pace were you saving at that would have let you move out in a couple of months? How much are you saving per month? What is your budget? Have you actually saved up anything? Honestly, you are the idiot and you sound like mooches. I'm a teen, and I've always been aware of how my half-siblings treated me. It's like they just hated me and my mom for no reason. I found out my brother Corey was getting married, and once again my dad, his father, wasn't invited. I know it hurts my dad's feelings. I reached out to Corey so I could understand why this was going on. Corey told me I was an affair baby, and his parents were married up until I came along. He caused his parents' divorce when he was 10. It broke his mom's heart, and he doesn't speak to his dad because of it. Corey said it wasn't my fault, but my birth tore his family apart. I was shocked, but honestly, it makes so much sense to me. I confronted my parents because there's such a disgusting age gap, 20 years, and class gap between my mom's family and my dad's. My mom doesn't know how to act and takes everything so offensive and says anything is disrespectful and complains about my dad's mom, my grandma, and how she treats her. The conversation became an argument where I called my parents trash for everything, and I didn't have a sense of family because of them. My grandmother on my mom's side is a Druji, like most of my mom's family, and I don't feel loved by my dad's side at all. I told my parents it was all their fault, and I wished I hadn't been born. My mom was angry and tried banning me from social media, where I talked to my half-brother, and shut off the Wi-Fi, forgetting my phone had a hotspot. My younger brother is angry because my mom shut off the Wi-Fi, and he can't play games. My dad said the situation was complicated, and I told him it wasn't. They were trash and I was trash just for being born. Am I the idiot for calling my parents trash? Yikes on bikes, not the idiot. Your parents messed up hardcore, but you need to get therapy. You aren't trash. Your existence, your being, isn't wrong. This isn't your fault. Your parents weren't truthful with you, and may not want to deal with the harm they caused. But they did the wrong, not you or your sibling. Your dad's family should be better to you in all this. Everyone's the idiot here, look bud. You got a lot of anger and hate in your heart right now. When you turn 18, go to college, move out, go no contact, or join the army or something. But all you're accomplishing right now is putting hate and anger in the world, which honestly isn't a whole lot to be proud of. Tell your brother the internet getting turned off was your mom's choice because she doesn't want to take responsibility for what she did. She'd rather blame you. Tell mom that her turning off the internet only means that you'll have to wait until you're out of the house to talk to your brother again. Remember, the circumstances of your birth are not your fault.